It's time to say goodbye to Google, at least for me. While I will continue to use a Gmail address in a business context for now, and will continue to upload videos to YouTube until the Orwellian platform either goes bust or just kicks everyone off that disagrees with their Marxist madness, I've had enough of this company whose motto is, ironically, do no evil. Google is everywhere, and it gathers information on everyone to power its massive advertising arm. Google is tracking you around the internet and building an individual advertising profile on you. And because if you're not paying for the service, the product is you. And Google has a history of abusing users' trust. In 2010, Google launched a social networking tool called Buzz that automatically listed people as followers of people with whom they frequently emailed or chatted with on Gmail. Google was also caught bypassing the privacy settings of the Safari browser used by millions of iPhone and other Apple users by using a special computer code to trick their browsers into allowing Google tracking. Google later paid a $22.5 million fine related to this violation. Google is also an ideological, totalitarian, Orwellian company that should be avoided by those that value dissenting thought and free speech. While in its offices, it sacks those with views which might well be based on science but hurt the ideological feelings of those that populate the company. And at the same time, over at YouTube, it shadow bans, blacklists, and demonetizes, while at the same time deplatforming anyone that is ideologically opposed to corporate-controlled globalism. This is truly a disgusting company. So how do you de-Googleize yourself? And before you say Firefox, it has already been compromised and has stated it will be teaming up with eBay founder Pierre Omidyar, and that's right, George Soros, to fight quote-unquote fake news, and will, along with Google, attempt to help shape our Orwellian nightmare of the future truth arbiters. So I'm going to give you the browser I use, Brave. Brave is a free and open source, and it claims to block website trackers and remove intrusive internet advertisements. The browser also claims to improve online privacy by sharing less data with advertising customers. As of 2017, it's currently in beta testing for Windows, Mac, and Linux, and available as a stable release for iOS and Android. It's a nice looking fast browser, and I'm more than happy to make the switch from Chrome. The tiny search engine called DuckDuckGo, that has a zero data retention policy. It doesn't store any of the information that is automatically transmitted by your computer, that being the IP address or other digital footprints. As a result, DuckDuckGo has no way to link your search queries to you. Now, this search engine, Quant, seems to be just as good as Google. The only drawbacks is that there seems to be no ability to give a time frame for your search, i.e. 24 hours or the last month, etc. But it claims to not employ user tracking and doesn't personalize search results in order to avoid trapping users in a filter bubble. The company claims that it makes money through commissions it receives when users visit websites like eBay and TripAdvisor from the search results, and this is the search engine that I use. ProtonMail uses client-side encryption to protect email content and user data before they are sent to ProtonMail servers, in contrast to other common email providers such as Google. So you have what is a secure email that's not being sifted through by the likes of Gmail. The only drawbacks is, as far as I can tell for the free service, is the 500 megabyte storage and 150 messages per day. But if used strictly for personal communications, I can't imagine what more one individual would need. Well, YouTube is the one arm of Google that's becoming an ideological echo chamber and is truly an expression of Google's desire to try and control the freedom of speech and the range of opinions people are allowed to have. It really has already begun, as it's blacklisting channels for wrongthink, a video I will be making shortly, but there are alternatives. While none of the following have the reach or the library of YouTube in terms of videos, I think it will change soon. There is several companies, I'll just run through them fast. There's the French Dailymotion, vid.me, BitChute, as well as Minds, which acts as a kind of bridge between YouTube, Twitter, and Facebook. And speaking of Facebook, I think that this is another one of these monolithic companies that should be avoided at all costs. I personally have stayed away from posting any personal information on that platform, and I think you should too. I use it only in the capacity of Black Pigeon Speaks, actually. And as stated, a substitute, while admittedly still kind of clunky, there is Minds, but there's also the new platform Gab. And speaking of social media platforms, while we're at it, the popular Facebook-owned cell phone app WhatsApp can be replaced with the much more rich in functions and user interface Line, which is its Asian equivalent. I no longer use WhatsApp for the very reason that it is owned by Facebook, but I can't tell you how much better Line is, and it's not affiliated with any of these large monolithic companies. So hopefully this will give you some direction on where to go and how to finally leave Google, a company that has come to symbolize the worst excesses of corporate malfeasance while at the same time trying to control what is and what is not allowed in the marketplace of ideas.